Alright. So tonight I want to go look at some Babylon Bee articles. I feel like that could be something interesting to do. Um, so for example, there's this one here, Canadian hockey fans boo their future national anthem. The Babylon Bee, I'll go on it on occasion, and it is pretty amusing. Um, there's been this thing about the the Canadians. These Leafs. They have the audacity to boo at the national anthem of their masters. You're Canada. You're a vassal state. Just do what you're told. And it says that their future okay, so they're not becoming a state. A territory, maybe. They can be. I said this on Twitter. They can be Northern Guam. Not even Puerto Rico. They can be the one nobody knows about. They can be Guam. Actually, before, so I used to think that it would not be nice if Mexico just became southern Canada. But unfortunately, it seems like Canada has just become northern Mexico. Oh, feel sick? Well, go ahead and kill yourself. You're feeling depressed? Sorry, our medical coverage only covers euthanasia. You paid into it. By the way, we're importing a ton of people, further straining our system, but you're too much of a burden. You need to kill yourself for the good of society. I hope the ghost of Susan, well, Pippa outright says that sometimes, so I don't think I assume I won't have any sort of problem unless her being a mega idol, if you will, insulates her from some stuff. I call her mega okay, the Phase Girls, they are not. I don't really think that they're really idols. Idols don't vomit into drawers or rage at their viewers, Tenma, or create spitzicles, or that company is also just a massive. How exactly did Sakana get such a? I mean, I realize it's VTubing, but the autism rate in that company has, unironically, the talent has to be substantially over 50%, right? Anyway, it's better this way. I think Pippa is cooler than an idol anyway. All right. Hockey fans of the soon-to-be 51st state of America booed when their future national anthem was played last night. In a seemingly prophetic outcome, loser nation, currently known as Canada, then got absolutely smoked by their imminent conquerors. Boo! We like being euthanized and losing at hockey. Boo! Aren't Canadians supposed to be good at hockey? Or maybe they're like the I don't know, the Cubs or something. They like hockey but are bad at it. We don't want to be part of a country that actually wins Stanley Cups. Boo! The euthanasia too. I saw it. I don't know if it was uploaded. I think it was uploaded recently, where there was a clip of Meet the Robinsons, where they were saying, I think it was northern Minnesota then. It had been a separate country for years. Oh boy, the amount of media you have out there, something is bound to be prophetic. The United States fans, for their part, found the booing rather adorable. "Aw, baby brother wants to fight," chuckled the gathered U.S. fans. "Honestly, we don't even know what hockey is in America. We just like beating Canada, the thing they care about most. It will be one final delicious humiliation of Canada before we invade." I mean, they are part French. How much of a fight could they possibly put up? Quebec is probably clutching their emergency white flags as we speak. At publishing time, the American team had destroyed the Canadians so thoroughly that all of Canada begged Trump to just send the tanks and get it over with. Oh, Canada. Yeah, I always regret that this was back before Reddit really became the cesspit hug box it is nowadays. I always regret. I remember seeing this one comment saying that Americans think that everywhere else is just Greater America. I always regret not commenting, saying, "No, of course we don't think of it as Greater America. We think of it as Lesser America. USA, USA." You know, I'm noticeably more, I guess, talkative now that I am not focusing on, a game. Hopefully once my sister comes on, I'll be able to speak more, I don't know, not really freely, more on Canada legally punching a Canadian in the face. Woman posts pics of her dinner for benefit of friends who've never seen spaghetti. Local woman Julie Linton took several pictures of her dinner to post on social media for the benefit of all her friends who have never seen a plate of spaghetti before. "Wow, that's crazy. I've never seen noodles with sauce on them before," said Denise Lowe as she scrolled Linton's Instagram feed. "I'm so glad Julie posted this pic of, what do you call it again? Spaghetti?" So I can't entirely tell if the context here, if this is supposed to be being her sarcastic or it's just a parody. So the idea that she genuinely has not seen spaghetti before, which, speaking as an Italian, that is tragic. I'm Italian American, so I mean I'm not pure Italian. My grandmother is, though. She knows how to make the best meatballs. The trick is to slow cook them in the sauce after you cooked them initially. Lynn graciously snapped and posted over a dozen photographs so that spaghetti virgins could see the rare and extraordinary dish from every angle. "It's hard work taking all these photos, but I know it will be worth it for my friends who have never seen a plate of spaghetti," said Linton. This is just going to blow people's minds. Seeing this sauce with meat sitting on a plate of noodles. I'm just thankful I can serve the world this way." At publishing time, Linton had posted pictures of her dessert to the delight of all her friends who had never before seen pie. How exactly, I mean, I guess maybe if you're going to fancy eateries or something, if it's fancy enough, I could maybe kind of see some kind of Instagram, food Instagram, but I feel like that's kind of just a novelty. Oh boy, King Solomon. So was it 700 wives that he had? Disaster as King Solomon only buys 698 Valentine's Day gifts. Reports circulated that the House of Solomon had fallen into disarray following a disastrous Valentine's Day celebration in which the king only bought 698 gifts despite having 700 wives. How many concubines did he have? King Solomon first became aware of his folly when assigning gift-wrapping duties to his servants. "O king, live forever! Behold, here are gifts totaling 698, yet 700 wives you have. Where are the other 2 gifts?" Doniram, the son of Abda, reportedly asked. Is that an actual biblical? Hold on, let me check. Let me see if this was a genuine biblical figure. Yeah, it looks, it looks like it. Collector, Kingdom of Israel. Looks like it. Do you know what, let me, from the late years of King David's reign until the reign of Rehoboam. Is Rehoboam after Solomon? Kingdom of Judah. The first monarch of the Kingdom of Judah. He was a son of and the successor to Solomon. According to sources, King Solomon rushed out to the palace to buy 2 last-minute gifts at a nearby gas station. I mean, this is the Middle East, so gas probably isn't exactly... Well, would that be a premium over there? Only to discover that it was closed for the day. Instead, the king was forced to try passing off the error as intentional, informing 3 of his wives that they had to share 1 gift because they were the most special of all the wives. Witnesses confirmed that this only served to upset the woman. Not that that's hard to do. His Excellency will now experience the splendor of the royal doghouse. What do you suppose... What do you suppose relationships between men and women were like during that era? I mean, it was much more, I think, slanted towards men having power. Which, oh boy, what a tragedy. But I do kind of wonder though if say if queens could potentially get uppity. In all honesty, though, it is a really nice doghouse. Gold-encrusted moldings and marble columns. It's something. Apparently, this was his side project after the temple. This does remind me of the temple. I mean, wasn't that covered in gold, basically? Solomon's temple that he made? The disgruntled wives were subsequently given $25 Amazon gift cards, which King Solomon hoped would smooth things over, but were reportedly labeled cold and impersonal by the offended women. At publishing time, King Solomon wrote his 21st proverb: "It is better to live in a corner of the housetop than in a house shared with a quarrelsome wife." Okay, the fact that I don't think I actually knew that Solomon wrote that one, because it's Proverbs, I think, is a mix of different authors. The fact that he had 700 wives, though, and he wrote this, that really says something, doesn't it? Maybe there, yeah, men. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe there's a reason why God says just to have 1 wife. Yeah, just pick a quality woman and cherish her. Now, if only I could find... But my problem though is most women admittedly don't interest me. I don't know if I'd call it picky necessarily. I guess perhaps part of it is I'm not. I guess people in general aren't really all that interesting to me in a sense. I mean, in many ways, I think I can kind of take people or leave them. I don't know if I'd call myself introverted necessarily. I mean, I can go out and interact with people, and I do think, I mean, I am in a way, I think, I don't know if I want to call it outgoing, but I would consider myself to be relatively funny, when I'm mocking my family, for example, or being incredibly sarcastic. So I could see people wanting or enjoying my company. Um, but like I said, in many ways I can take or leave social interaction. Actually, during COVID, I actually got out of the house more since I had finally gotten a job. I tend to be a bit of a shut-in, to say the least. And as far as, and it's not as if I didn't have women who admired me as well. I did get a secret admirer present back in high school. Never did actually find out who it was. Let's see. Anything interesting? I feel like the political stuff in this might be more amusing. Oh boy. How about this one? Is that the kid's actual name, X? Oh, that poor child. Okay, I think I've said this before, I probably am on the autism spectrum. But I'm probably more adept than apparently Elon Musk, I guess. He and I actually share a number of well, is it just our sense of humor, maybe? I don't know. I'm not a stoner, unlike my sister, though. I don't smoke. I'm not some degenerate druggie. So a little X just came up and asked government employee what exactly he does around here. Panic quickly ensued for federal government employee Jared Walker after Elon Musk's son, Lil X, came up, and was he going to be a rapper, and asked what exactly he does around here. Walker quickly began sweating and hyperventilating under the withering questions from the 4-year-old about the specifics of his employment. So I'm a procurement specialist for the DoD. Yes, I understand that doesn't sound very important, but you gotta hear me out, Lil X. I make sure we order enough uniforms and guns and all sorts of important things for the Army guys. That's really important, right? What are these papers I'm holding? Well, it's a document I spent the last week trying to explain why the last uniforms we had ordered had a stitch color that was the wrong shade of green. Wait, let me explain. According to witnesses, Lil X then wandered off to whisper something to his dad, Elon Musk, who nodded approvingly. This can't be good, sighed Walker. Yes, Little X, I will meet you in your office right away. At publishing time, Lil X had sat Walker down in a tiny chair to ask about what he might want to be when he grows up. You know, it's... Why? So, I mean, it seems... Okay, so I guess not to get too political, but it seems like people on the Democrat side, some of them are being idiots and getting upset that a lot of government spending is being slashed, or that things are being cut. But I mean, whoever thought of the government as efficient and trustworthy? Oh no, we're cutting incompetent spending but I mean, I feel like they have just become too contrary. They were too contrary to Trump years ago. And really they only have themselves to blame, I'd say, I guess. Okay. Let's see, are they... Sauron... Okay, this might be interesting. Sauron appointed judge rules Frodo must return ring to Sauron. The One Ring must be returned to its rightful owner, the Dark Lord Sauron, a Sauron-appointed judge ruled this week. The ring was taken from Sauron by Isildur's hand. I might be butchering that, which makes it stolen property. Lord Elrond of Rivendell said in response to the court's order, "We have no choice but to return it and be destroyed. Our hands are tied here. The One Ring, forged by the Dark Lord Sauron in the fires of Mount Doom, was stolen from his person by Isildur during the Battle of Dagorlad. Now legal experts say that that terrible injustice is finally being made right. Sources say an appeal by Frodo, also known as the Ring Bearer, is unlikely to succeed. No one is above the law, not even halflings," Judge Shagrath said, according to official court transcripts. "Whiteskins have no right to keep it." Oh boy, that's a bit on the nose. Though he bears a reputation for ruling against the race of men and elves, Shagrat maintains his integrity in light of this perceived bias, claiming he has no choice but to do the bidding of Sauron and bring about an end to the race of men. At publishing time, the free peoples of Middle-earth were destroyed. In case you don't know, I mean, judges are, and I assume they're probably Biden or Obama-appointed judges, are trying to block Trump's actions. Oh boy. You remember Burt strips? I don't know if how much of a thing that is anymore. In response to mounting pressure from various stakeholders, the Public Broadcasting Service announced the immediate discontinuation of its diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. As part of this restructuring, Sesame Street's Bert and Ernie are now straight. How long has it been a meme that they were supposedly gay? "We see the way the tide is turning," said Jennifer Peebs, head of PBS. "That's why I'm proud to announce that Bert and Ernie are straight and always have been." It's better than bears with visible mastectomy scars on Blue's Clues. Bert and Ernie are an iconic gay Muppet couple who appeared on the very first episode of Sesame Street in 1969. However, as part of its commitment to ending the appearance of DEI policies, PBS announced Bert and Ernie were straight the whole time, and that Bert is more popular with the ladies than you might think. Ernie is in a state of perpetual adolescence as a means of connecting with children, but Bert is a ladies' man and always has been. PBS spokesperson said, "We just never showed him with all the ladies because this is a children's show. Get your minds out of the gutter." Yeah, that's accurate. In terms of, I guess, corrupting innocence. In addition to Bert and Ernie being officially confirmed as straight, PBS also announced that they would be removing Cammy, the HIV-positive Muppet, and Julia, a Muppet with autism, from the isn't there an actual Muppet with autism? Surely this isn't real. This HIV thing, this isn't real, is it? Hold on. I need to check. Oh, it's actually real. Hold on. Where's the part? The world's first HIV positive Muppet. Oh, okay. Oh, back? Wait, was this actually a thing back? How far back was it? And of course, she's kissing Whoopi Goldberg on the lips and has a... This looks like a hippie outfit. So of course she would have AIDS. Free love, man. Well, guess what? Free love has consequences. And also, there's a difference between love and love. Yeah, this had to be a while back. I mean, actually, is there really... Well, I guess there was... I guess HIV was kind of in the general consciousness back during the epidemic. So I guess it makes sense why they would have one. Cammy is an HIV positive character who is affectionate, articulate, literate, and great fun to be with. She is wise beyond her 5 years and has a wealth of information about HIV/AIDS. This raises some disturbing questions. How? I mean, did her mother, I kind of hope her mother, Cammy lives with Maud Dimfo, who adopted her. Yeah, I have a number of questions. Well, I guess it's really just the HIV, how she supposedly got it. Something tells, well, I don't know, maybe it must have been from her mother. This looks too hippie. Her stupid mother probably got it during the epidemic and passed it on to her. And she's dressing up her child as a hippie. Then again, she's adopted, so I'm reading too much into this. The question is, though, did the idiot degenerates do something with this recently? I wouldn't be shocked. So as far as DEI goes, you know what would be funny? You know what would be really funny? If DEI was introduced to the NFL or the NBA. You see, I don't care about sports. I don't care. So if those get ruined by introducing diversity into it, that isn't my problem. Oops. Now could you just imagine where the DEI officer goes in and goes, where are all the Asians? I don't see a single Asian. I don't even know if there are any. I don't see a single Asian on this team. You need to hire an Asian to meet your quota. And then the next season you see some stereotypical Asian nerd on the field with glasses and a protractor, about to get sacked and concussed by 280-pound quarterback tackling him 10 feet. Ross gets by an appointed judge to overturn. Let's see. Let's see if are there any good ones? What are some good ones? Prince Harry asks ICE to deport him to Guantanamo Bay for some peace and quiet. Prince Harry has begged for ICE to please deport him to Guantanamo Bay, offering to commit whatever crime is necessary to warrant his immediate detention and expulsion. Prince Harry first approached ICE agents in California to ask if he could specifically request to be separated from his family at the time of deportation, then became ecstatic upon learning about the option of Guantanamo Bay. I've got to get myself to Gitmo, whatever it takes, old chap, said Harry, desperation in his eyes. What if I jaywalk? Here I go. Look, I'm an immigrant breaking the law. Come get me, ICE. Do you need me to punch this old lady? I'll do it, so help me. Despite his best efforts, Prince Harry has thus far been unable to convince ICE to deport him to a holding facility in Cuba. Sorry, sir, but you filled out all the right papers when you came here. I wish I could help. I really do, replied ICE agent Steve Manchin. I feel for you. We all do. If you could find something, anything you did to break the law when you came to America, I could maybe do something. I'm really sorry. At publishing time, Prince Harry had lit his custom papers on fire and attempted to seize control of an apartment complex. Yeah, yeah. I think these were gang members who did this. How much of an issue do you think illegal immigration would even be if not for the gang members? Um, because how should I? Let me think. I remember a good few years back, somebody was saying that illegal immigrants committed less crime than citizens, but I can't. That can't be right, right? Because I mean, just the fact of the gang members and their cartel members are no joke. They do horrific things. They torture and murder people pretty horrifically. I think a bunch of them are in some kind of basically death cult. Also, as far as it mentioned California in here, so I heard. I guess people were was Greenland saying they were willing to trade, or not Greenland, Denmark saying they were willing to trade. I'm assuming this is a joke. Greenland for California, which, how stupid are the Danish? They well, yeah, let's take that trade and get rid of the Californians. The the streets are. I remember seeing on news some. I assume it was a Californian politician complaining about brown skies or something, saying that their skies aren't brown, and I remarked, no, just your streets. Mind you, pollution is a concern. Of course, I mean, people want clean air. I do have to wonder though if, I mean, there's this waste and pollution, but I mean, I sometimes wonder if maybe there's a better way to put it to work, if you will. I mean, or I say better way, if there's a way to harvest these quote unquote pollutants and, use them. So for example, I heard, so I remember back in the day, I think this was back in high school maybe, I read about how acid rain was typically caused by what are known as anhydrides. So they would go out into the air and combine with water and form acidic solutions. And I wonder. I mean, I wonder if maybe there's some kind of a way to um, to use these. Maybe they could be extracted. These anhydrides, just as an example, they could be extracted and put in water to be sold as acidic solutions, or maybe they could go to some kind of cell culture material or something, bioremediation. And if you combine that with maybe genetic engineering, where the cells produce something useful, maybe some kind of useful protein, probably not, I don't know if I'd want pharmaceutical stuff though to go in there, and just in terms of that's going into somebody. But some kind of useful protein, maybe some kind of industrial enzyme. You could combine bioremediation with that, conceivably. Then again, maybe they're already doing something like that, or I don't know what exactly they might do. I'm assuming this article right here is basically just talking about his wife. Kanye West. Did you guys see this? This Maxine Waters whinging at this security officer. Nation asks if that security guy can please just follow Congress around and keep them from doing anything ever. Like I said, it's not why the issues with cutting funding. I mean, it's not like the government is popular. It's astroturfed, but things are changing, and people are just tired of it all, and maybe at some point maybe we're getting closer to some semblance of sanity again. Americans are now begging the now famous security guard who stood up to screeching Democrats to please always follow Congress around to keep them from going anywhere or doing anything ever. Yeah, why isn't this? I mean, I feel like this should be the popular opinion. Well, maybe this is parody, so it's glossing over the nuances, of course. After witnessing the unnamed bald man with glasses and a neon band-aid single-handedly stopping Congress in its tracks, America has pinned its hopes on the anonymous hero shutting down Congress for good. If that guy could always stand in front of doorways so Congress can't go anywhere or do anything, that would be incredible, said local man Mark Sanders. The country would be so much better off. Plus, it is just so entertaining. I could listen to Congress people shriek, "I'm not a thief," all day. Way better than Netflix. According to sources, several Americans have already taken it upon themselves to fashion likenesses of the security guards to station at strategic points. It's not much, but making a little scarecrow replica of that security guy to put outside the Capitol is the least I can do, said local woman Sarah Branch. I tried to make his face look appropriately unimpressed and annoyed. I even added a band-aid on his neck for good measure. Hopefully it at least scares Congress away for a few days. At publishing time, the security guy had reportedly declined, stating that the 5 minutes he had already spent with Congress was more than enough for one lifetime. Let's see. What is this? I mean, back in the day, I think it was back when the Babylon Bee first started around 2016, and I did get the impression from the early articles, at least during that time, they didn't initially like Trump. Trump appoints Satan as White House faith advisor. A surprising move, President Donald Trump announced today that the newly created White House faith office would be led by Satan. Satan's got a lot of experience, Trump said as he introduced the father of lies at Thursday's National Prayer Breakfast. You know, he spent 40 days with Jesus in the desert 2,000 years ago. It's really something. I hear he's even read the... Okay, that's amusing. He's even read the entire Bible. The adversary said he was thankful for the opportunity and would not let the president down. In a 10-minute speech, the father of lies expanded on his perceived duties and qualifications for the work ahead, saying, I have every right and authority to declare the White House holy ground because I was standing there, and where I stand is holy. I'm kind of a big deal. Attendees appeared horrified as Satan took to the podium in a puff of sulfuric smoke, but later came away energized after the Dark Lord told them, by your words you form your own identity. What you say within yourself determines the end promise of your life. Follow your heart. Following the news conference, reporters asked Satan what his plans were for ending anti-Christian bias, but Satan only stared at them. At publishing time, it was revealed Satan got the job by telling Trump he was perfect and didn't need to change his life in any way whatsoever to be pleasing to God, which the president thought sounded pretty good. Okay, well, I don't know if that was really a little... It's hard for me to laugh, I guess, unless maybe other people are laughing. This admittedly, I was wondering if this was going to be more tongue-in-cheek, but this seems played pretty straight for the most part. Although that last paragraph seems like it could be relatively in line, although not. I don't know if that's necessarily the case anymore. I mean, I don't know what exactly Trump's motivation is for becoming president precisely. I mean, I don't know the man. Um, Granted, I think I may have heard from somebody who is some kind of political analyst on a forum that he does have a big ego, and that's kind of what's driving him. Um, Although after that assassination attempt, I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I mean, coming so close to death like that, I mean, I could see that potentially changing a man's perspective. Um, so, and I mean, at this point, oh boy, the Democrat, okay, so the Democrats, um, they probably would not have had. Trump is on a warpath now. He's going through the government like a wrecking ball, and he is just shredding things in terms of, and I'm not a government person. I don't like the government. They're corrupt. So I mean, in many ways, I view that as a good thing. I mean, say what you will about the man. You can say, even if you don't like him, you can say that he has some good ideas, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would kind of think that that general idea would be a good one. Granted, again, it's not like I know the nuances of everything. I mean, I don't want him destroying something critical, of course. um, but I mean, at the end of the day, what can you really do besides, I guess, try and vote? Or I try and vote. What can you do besides voting and, I guess, hoping for the best? I mean, even if you were some huge Kamala supporter, um, it doesn't really dooming about things profits you nothing. Then again, at the same time, I guess I can understand people just not being optimistic. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. And I'm not. It's not like I personally am the most optimistic person at all. I mean, I tend to be. I tend to be. I call myself a realist oftentimes, and I mean, I at work. So I mean, I don't really expect to get a raise, to get an adjustment that follows inflation. And I mean, it's not, so I'm not really thrilled about that prospect. Who knows, maybe I'll be surprised. But the word Dilbertian comes to mind when it comes to my job. It could be substantially worse. I mean, I'm a biologist instead of some kind of paper shuffling bureaucrat. That kind of job, I don't know if I could deal with that. I think I may have mentioned this before. I did have a job in a what's known as GMP, which is good manufacturing protocols, GMP process, whatever it is. And if I can avoid it, never again. It was just, there was training and going through and basically crossing all your T's and dotting all your I's, and it was the job I have is better right now. And my previous job is more. I mean, I don't know how much science I was even really doing. Um, Nowadays, I mean, I get the chance to innovate at times. Granted, I guess I would prefer if things were just a bit more on my terms, to say the least. Um, I think the best way for me to uh, get me to do something, or maybe that isn't quite the right way to phrase it. The best conditions for my innovating something is just to, I guess, have me take interest in it in some capacity. So, or one way is to have a problem annoy me until I decide I want to fix it. So, for example, we were having issues growing a particular type of bacterium. And so I basically wound up doing a bit of experimentation, and I found a much better type of media that it grows. It grows way better in it. We still have some issues, I'd say, depending on where exactly these microbes are isolated. Um, but we could maybe if more modifications are in order, maybe we'll increase the efficiency, the growth success rate at some point. Albeit, granted, we haven't really been doing nearly as much of that sort of stuff for a little while now. I think we might be shifting in terms of how my lab group works. Um, Biden signs with talent agency and lands role as corpse on CSI. Questions about his future after leaving the White House were apparently answered this week as Joe Biden announced that he had signed with a talent agency and immediately landed a role as a corpse on CSI Vegas. The former president successfully made his transition from the Oval Office to Hollywood, inking a deal with industry powerhouse Creative Artists Agency, which quickly found a highly sought-after role of a lifeless body on the popular CBS television series. We've never seen someone more perfect to play this part," said CSI Vegas showrunner Jason Tracy. "I've been involved in the CSI franchise for years, and we've gone through hundreds and hundreds of corpses over that time. I've never seen anyone who more perfectly portrays a dead person than Joe Biden. It's the role he was meant to play." Sources said Biden filmed his scene earlier this week in a single take, though he reportedly offered to spend all day shooting it as many times as needed. This is a heck of a gig, Jack," the former president was overheard saying. "All these years I could have been doing this for a living. I wish someone would have. I wish that they, back before I was a truck driver, drove a big rig, and that's how that happened with the egg salad." The show's crew said Biden was one of the easiest actors they had ever worked with, though they had to wake him up after filming was completed. At publishing time, the producers were rumored to already be heavily pursuing Biden to star in a modern reboot of the cult classic Weekend at Bernie's. How long has... this is... Again, I mean, how should I put this? I mean, this is... I guess things are getting political, but I feel like a lot of this stuff really shouldn't be. I mean, people for years were saying that Biden was not all there, basically, and that it was Weekend at Bernie's president style or whatever. But you were shut down. People were saying you were crazy or racist or conspiracy theory or whatever, and a lot of the media were carrying water for Biden until finally at the presidential debate He debated Trump, and they couldn't hide anymore, and it was just plain for everybody to see that just he wasn't fit for the office. And people were saying that before he was even elected. The man had he had I think it was a stroke, or was it a stroke? Which isn't to say that you can't have a stroke and turn out okay, but if only, like I said, maybe we're getting back to sanity. Maybe we're on our way. So maybe things will get readjusted, and then things will be back to relative. I don't know. I'm trying to be, I guess, neutral again, or keep a neutral tone, relatively speaking. I mean, this is basically the reason why Trump was elected again, because they couldn't find someone who was good enough to beat him. I mean, they threw everything they had at him, but at the end of the day, it didn't really seem like they had anybody actually competent in the running. I mean, like, say what you will about Trump, but I mean, if they had somebody competent, I'm not sure he would be in the White House right now. But I mean, that's just my opinion, man. Oh, I thought this was going to be a section with multiple articles on January 6th. Why don't we watch this?
Hiroshima, Nagasaki, the heat death of the universe. These are some of the deadliest days in history. But none of them compare to the most deadliest day. January 6, 2021. Coming soon in the most epic movie event since Robot Jocks Left Behind, or maybe even Son of the Mask.
Hold on. Wait, the MAGA
movie
shaman?
Event since...
This is... I assume this isn't the guy. That guy was... He just became a meme. It's... I mean, if nothing else, at least politics has become kind of entertaining in recent years. What with... It's just... I guess it's one thing or another, right? And it's... I remember the that Medgar video, Slip Sliding Away or something, where apparently I think it was Facebook was asking people if they should allow grown men to solicit children for explicit content. And he just lost it. It was just too absurd. He was laughing. And it was like you said, it's just pure unfiltered insanity. I mean, things might be calming down now, but I mean, we've just moved we moved past. We're a post-parody society. Because I saw earlier something about over 100 different Babylon Bee articles may have actually come true.
Robot Jocks Left Behind, or maybe even Son of the Mask. The Babylon Bee investigates the darkest day in the history of democracy.
Where were you on January 6th?
In January?
I don't remember.
Storming the Capitol, baby! No.
Scary stuff like this happened.
Okay.
So on a scale of 9 to 10, how terrifying was what you just witnessed?
3? I don't know.
3.
We go on location We bring you 100% true facts.
Representative Alexandria
Oh, boy,
Ocasio-Cortez
AOC.
was murdered over 7 times.
We ask the tough questions.
Is it true that you have a Jewish space laser? This is incredibly boring. Could you
Is Jewish space laser? I feel, is that some kind of meme conspiracy theory? I don't know. Maybe ask 4chan, right, or something.
explain it to me using Marvel characters?
We even go face to face with the
Oh, well,
scariest
they-
criminals you'll ever meet.
They Marvel characters, they know. Yeah, that seems accurate.
Are you the dangerous insurrection man?
Wasn't it Vaush? I think Vaush. I don't know if I should compare. Let's just say, Pippa's commentary on him seems apt. If you want to look up Pippa and Vaush, just it'll come right up. But it's not like, okay, so I don't follow what he does really, but didn't he maybe a year or two back talk about how if you just laid your arms down or something? Was this may have been with Kyle? Let me just call him Kenosha Kyle. I don't remember his last name off the top of my head. I think it was saying that if you just lay down your arms, the crowd will accept you or something. And he cited Marvel movies. Does he not know that those are they're movies, that they're fictional? You see, this is why Trump needs to destroy the Department of Education. They apparently aren't they doing a good enough job. I mean, just look at Vaush, like I said. How do you make that comparison? How are you dumb enough to think, oh yes, let me compare this real life scenario to movies, just to give you an example of what I expect to happen? Some people are just brain dead.
Who's asking?
We're in. Into the lair of darkness I go. Darkness because he's a Republican, not because he's, never mind.
All right. That's kind of funny.
Shame! Shame!
This fall, the only way you can save democracy is by becoming a member of the Babylon Bee. So you can see January 6th, the most deadliest day.
Where were you on January 6th?
I was in that mob that was going into the Capitol.
Oh boy, don't admit that, right? So that's already been released. I don't suppose I'd be able to just watch this on stream, would I? Alright, let's see. Yeah, let's look up Hillary. Let's see. Are there any particularly good ones? Medal of participation. Let's load some more. Let's see if there are any. So, just okay. While I'm on the topic of of people Clintoning themselves, so I think it may have been Seth Rich. So I think, was that the guy who supposedly shot himself in the face twice? So that I could, believe it or not, actually potentially buy, because I looked into it a bit. I don't know if it was Seth or it was somebody. You could probably look it up just by shot in the face twice or something, suicide, something like that. So he, as I understand it, he was depressed, and so they say he was shot in the face, so it was shot in the side of the face, so is, I guess, more along in terms of his cheek or something. And because I saw, you can probably look up a picture if you're so inclined. I don't know if I can actually do that myself. Let me check to see if this is the right guy though. Seth Rich. No, I guess not. Okay. Clinton. It's not autofilling. Oh, well, suicide. Let's see. Clinton body count conspiracy theory. Yeah, sure. I mean, how many conspiracy theories have been coming true as of late? History. Vince Foster. Was this? Let's see. Investigation. Suicide. I just realized I did not put on any music. I'm losing my mind. Just some classical music, why not? And of course, I start playing the classical music when we're talking about Vince Foster. Maybe I guess it was not Foster? Did they say he was shot in the head? I don't know who it was. I'm not bothering right now. Cement shoes. Not to be outdone by former President Trump, Hillary Clinton announced she had released her own line of shoes that come with just enough cement in the bottom to sink straight to the bottom of the sea. Trump has his little never surrender shoes. Well, say hello to never seen again sneakers, said Clinton as she unveiled the shoe at SneakerCon. I've been perfecting these for years. You won't believe how many pairs I've just given away because I love them so much. According to SneakerCon attendees, Clinton then demonstrated how the sneakers work by placing them on a mannequin and pushing him into an above-ground pool. The mannequin had not been seen or heard from again, and janitorial staff reported that the above-ground pool was found completely empty at the end of the event. Clinton stated that the sneakers had been in beta for decades as she worked to get just the right amount of cement. These sneakers make great gifts for so many occasions, said Clinton. When someone accuses your husband of sexual assault, when someone can produce evidence that proves your husband committed sexual assault, when someone has the trail of transactions from foreign governments to prove your own corruption, or simply if someone puts too much ice in your tea, for every occasion there's a Clinton sneaker to match. Hold on, let me turn this down. Yeah, I don't have things set up yet just to capture single windows. So I'm just doing it like this for now. At publishing time, President Biden and Kamala Harris had reportedly each received a new pair of sneakers from Clinton. think so. There was that speculation going on a while back that Obama chef, let's just say maybe he got a pair of these sneakers, and I think it may have been. Let me turn this down again. I think no, I keep going to the wrong one. I think shortly thereafter somebody came out and claimed he had gay sex with Obama. So that really just makes the speculation all the more delicious, if you will. Not to mention those memes about Obama's wife, as some people like to call Big Mike. The internet can be a magical place. Alright. Where? Okay. Tucker Carlson. I have to look at this one. Hillary Clinton posts condolences for Tucker Carlson's suicide this coming Tuesday. Let's... Bill and I were sat... Oh, hold on, does it say... Does it give... Okay, it does give the text here. Hillary Clinton, who famously shattered the glass ceiling for all of womankind. Remember that? Remember how they were supposed to release confetti and it was going to symbolize that at her presidential celebration, or the election night celebration, or whatever it was. So much for that. Just no. Such self-importance. Or I don't know. This is coming from a woman who helped cover up, or I don't know all the details. There was something about she was Bill Clinton's wife, and what with all the sexual escapades he had. Yeah, real girl power there, Hillary. Took to Twitter Wednesday morning with a touching tweet for Fox News on-air personality Tucker Carlson, in which she expressed her condolences for his upcoming suicide. Bill and I were saddened to hear of the passing of @Tucker Carlson today. We may not have agreed politically, but he was certainly a person. Our warmest condolences to his loved ones, if he had any. Hashtag suicide is not the answer, she tweeted. I mean, I feel... I guess I'm not really... I guess it's laughing per se. I'm just kind of feel the need for... I don't know. Some of this stuff is pretty... Okay, so I guess the easiest... Perhaps the best way to make me laugh is to get somebody irritated. I have a rather trollish sense of humor. One of my coworkers, classical music is not apt for some of my streams. But that just makes it more amusing, doesn't it? One of my coworkers, he hates Dominic the Donkey. So that's a Christmas song, and so he just thinks it's incredibly stupid because the concept of a Christmas donkey doesn't really seem to make sense to him, and he just sort of flipped out a little bit, and that just was so amusing to me. I think that was probably the happiest he had ever seen me. My mother is a frequent victim of my sense of humor too. I remember this one time when she was arguing with my dad over some asinine argument. I don't remember what it was she was arguing with. So the thing is though, when they're arguing over whatever stupid thing, I have to listen to it so I can, I would give unsolicited relationship advice, and she would always say, it's none of your business. When you get, she also says, when you've been in a relationship, then you can give advice, which you'd think this woman would know better than to give me an opening like that, because if that ever happens, she is not going to hear the end of it. She is going, I'm just going to be giving her relationship advice constantly, just for my amusement. How often do you think she's going to tell me to shut up? You know, one of these days, what are the odds that one of these days she actually just punches me? How much, am I going to deserve it? I'm smiling pretty wide right now. Anyway, so they were arguing, and she must have thought I was going to side with her, because for once she actually asked for my advice. To which my reply was, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's none of my business." I just laughed, and she told me to shut up. Oh, happy memories. Being toxic can be fun. Now if there's a way, I mentioned on Twitter, if there's a way for me to, I've thought about recently going on OnlyFans to troll e-thoughts. That would be great. The thing is, I don't know. I've never been on OnlyFans. That isn't exactly an appealing site for me, especially considering the types of women on there. I don't know. I don't know if I would need to make an account, or if I would need to pay in order to interact with these women. I don't know if anybody is even watching any of this. I don't have the OBS screen up right now. I just have this stuff up. So if anybody who watches this at some point or another has any recommendations for how to annoy women, let me know, and maybe I can make a stream of it. I would also need to make sure it's not, I don't show anything explicit. How, also, would that, I don't know where exactly that falls in terms of service, because I have seen people I have seen flashbangs on streams before. Let's see. Viral tweet trended for several hours until people started to point out that Hillary Clinton could not possibly know of Tucker's mental state and must be threatening to have the media darling murdered. The tweet then mysteriously disappeared along with 2 Twitter employees who are now presumed dead. Weird, said authorities. Coincidence, am I right? Tucker Carlson has been under tremendous fire in recent weeks due to his unapologetic airing of January 6 footage, which appears to undermine the leftist narrative. But experts believe Clinton has no stake in the January 6 narrative and just hates Tucker Carlson. At publishing time, Tucker Carlson gave the camera a confused but concerned look as he read the tweet live on his program, Tucker Carlson Tonight. It's... okay, so Tucker Carlson isn't on Fox anymore, I think? Which is perhaps a bit of a shame, just because... I don't know, I feel like he's... I don't know, a bit of a character just in terms of his mannerisms. I remember All right. The name is it John Friedman? It's some kind of podcast. It's called. The name is Come Town. There's a bit where they just do a Tucker Carlson impersonation, which I found funny. They basically just repeatedly said, "What is going on?" Which they're right. That if you say that, if you get his mannerisms down, and if you that goes a lot to doing a good impersonation of him. Yeah, what is going on? And the Democratic Party wants this. Look up that video if you're. I mean, I don't want to. I don't know. I'm not trying. I'm bringing it up. I don't know. I don't want to steal jokes or anything like that. Then again, I don't know what I'm saying. You're going to. They might get more views. Something I don't know. And I think that was and the one I watched was an animation of it anyway, so it wasn't on their channel, I think. Hillary Clinton reportedly considering losing again in 2024. Do you think Clinton would have lost in 2024? I mean, she didn't run, so maybe she, maybe she thought she wouldn't, wouldn't win, so. Tulsi Gabbard, suicide. There was one. Okay, so there's one. There was one. A little while back, around the what was it? Around the presidential debate with Biden, that I'm kind of looking for. So yeah, let me see if I can find it. Joe Biden. Okay. I think this is it. I think I may have actually audibly laughed at this. Biden getting nervous as Hillary Clinton enters emergency family meeting. Okay, I'm chuckling a bit. President Biden began feeling rather nervous this morning when Hillary Clinton arrived for what was supposed to be an emergency family meeting about his campaign. "This is bad, Joe," Biden whispered to himself. "I may be in some real trouble here." According to high-level sources, the Biden team had called a family meeting after early efforts failed to quell the panic after Biden's disastrous debate. About 15 minutes in, Clinton unexpectedly walked into the meeting without saying a word, put on latex gloves, and sat in the corner to watch the proceedings. "So, as I was saying, we can ride this news cycle out," said Biden, anxiously eyeing Clinton. "Calm donors down, tell the media to shape up. There's no need to pull the plug or poison someone or hang them in a jail cell from a bedsheet or anything." Yeah, I think that's Epstein, right? Clinton stated that she had simply come to Camp David for a little bit of sightseeing and to help the campaign to hit the reset button. "Oh, I'm just here watching the birds, waiting to see what kind of a reset they wish to do," said Clinton. "Isn't politics exciting?" At publishing time, President Biden had decided to start having his dog try out his morning oatmeal just in case. Yeah, let's see. Oh, well, of course, it's right there. Is it a guy thing where you don't see something that's right in front of you? Yeah. "Honey, where's the ketchup? It's in the door, sweetie." I don't know how many times where my mother asked me to get something from the refrigerator and I couldn't find it, and then she goes to just get it herself and she just finds it right there. Then again, I think sometimes it's hiding behind something. Let's see, episodes of Friends. Is this... It's blank. Alright, I don't know. Is that really fair? I mean, that was a popular show back in the day, right? Or it was. I mean, I could see... I remember that there's this one joke in Code Meant by... Purple Eyes, I'll just call him. Where Lelouch claims he was spending all day watching the funniest episodes of Everybody Loves Raymond. And he just thinks to himself, "You fool! Everybody knows those don't exist." So I don't know if maybe Everybody Loves Raymond would be more appropriate. There's one episode where where Raymond is fighting with what's his brother's name? Robert. Over him going to Vegas after Raymond gives him money because he needed it. And Frank just sits there and he says that he lost a friend over $50, and then he says, "You know, sometimes when I'm driving, I still think about that $50. Being petty like that can be funny. I do. Okay, I mean, I can probably be pretty petty in terms of just, I guess, sometimes for my amusement's sake. Like I said, I have a trollish sense of humor. On the topic of Everybody Loves Raymond, so the parents, Raymond's parents, they fight constantly, and their names are Frank and Marie Barone, and so that is a nickname for my parents. If they could only get along. I mean, I feel like maybe they're getting along better in recent years, which, how exactly that happened, I'm not entirely sure, given that my mother is going through the change, which is that basically just PMS 24/7 or something? I think I've mentioned this before, but well, as far as the whole cheese thing goes, so I did a stream where I was trying to preserve cheese, individually wrapped slices of cheese for Singles Awareness Day. Did not work particularly well. I can get to that in a second. But my mother, being a killjoy, she didn't want me doing it. She wanted me to return the resin or something. I don't. And then later she starts finding amusement in it, which she needs to stop being so irrational. I don't know. Stop with the mood swings or something. I guess she can't necessarily control that, though, but I mean, if she could stop being irrational. Then again, maybe that's asking a bit much from her. But as far as the cheese thing goes, so I mean, it did not go particularly well. You can see my results on Twitter. So I tried using clear paint and Mod Podge. So the clear paint and the Mod Podge, the cheese wound up smelling. I put several coats of Mod Podge on the cheese, and I passed that around my work. But it smelled, so I had to put them in plastic bags. I wouldn't be shocked if they wind up getting thrown away soon. Maybe the Ziploc, Ziploc is brand name. The zipper bags, Ziploc, whatever. Maybe it's good enough that they will stay sealed, or airtight or whatever. I tried shining UV light on them. Granted, maybe I just didn't do it long enough. I didn't do it for too long. I only have that little handheld thing. And for that matter, I don't know if those wavelengths are necessarily even particularly lethal for microbes. I have a UV box at work. Maybe I was thinking about just putting them in there. Then again, at that point, I'm not sure if it really would have made a difference, since they had already sat out overnight. So those were the results from the paint and Mod Podge. I also tried adding... So I coated another piece of cheese with sodium silicate, and I added hydrochloric acid to it. I actually figured out pretty quickly that it probably wasn't going to work, because the silica formed surprisingly quickly. So it formed as a silica gel. So what I think I did wrong was I probably should have had it in cold water. So I probably should have coated the cheese with sodium silicate, put it in cold water, then added the hydrochloric acid drops at a time over the course of days, if not longer. I might try this again. Maybe I can do this. Maybe I could do it next year. I don't know. I don't know how well. I could maybe see it preserving the cheese. Then again, I mean, I guess if you can manage to get an airtight seal on the silica, or excuse me, on the cheese, then I guess it doesn't even matter so long as it's encased properly. I might be doing. Maybe I'll try it again. I don't, or maybe I could even have. I don't know if my supervisor would necessarily be able to do it, because I've been thinking about putting this out in the garage to keep it cold. But I am concerned about. We leave the garage open a bit for cats to come in. There are stray cats in our neighborhood, and we see some regulars, but I'm concerned about animals getting into chemically treated cheese. You know, if somebody were just coming into this conversation, they would probably think it's strange. Then again, it's strange even without it. I get the extremes I can go to do something. You really have no idea the extremes I'm willing to go to sometimes. How should I put? Let's just say there's some personal stuff that I've gone to insane lengths for. As in, it gets. I would imagine it would get a little away from less. I don't know if I would want to say ha 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 to just astounding, I guess. Uh-oh, Hillary Clinton says she has a big announcement tonight. In the aftermath of Donald Trump's announcement of his 2024 presidential candidacy, the nation was frozen with fear as word began to spread that former First Lady, New York Senator, Secretary of State, failed presidential candidate, election denier, legendary assassin, Hillary Clinton was preparing to make a major announcement of her own. We're still awaiting details of what this announcement might be, said conservative blogger Jerry Atrick. We can only assume that this has something to do with her own candidacy for president, which would give us the Titanic rematch that absolutely no one asked for, and everyone hoped we would never experience. Oh, I don't know about that. Well, are you not amused? Yeah, I mean, can I really complain? Can I really complain about what we got? Well, I don't know. How should I put it? I think it's most entertaining when Trump is really going at his opponent. What was it? I think it was the debate with Kamala, where he really just let her have it. And people were saying, I think a lot of people didn't like that. I think they didn't like, or they were saying he lost the debate, which, whatever. But I mean, it's more entertaining when he just goes at it. Let's see. What are some good Trump? Okay, so Trump is arguably the most successful troll in all of history. Just as an example, when was this? This was during his first campaign, or not technically his first campaign, 2016 campaign. He had invited the press to, it was some kind of big announcement or something supposedly, but he had all these people talking him up before he actually came on stage. Then he came on stage. He said, he was basically saying that President Obama was born in America. His birth certificate is real. Hillary Clinton started that rumor. I ended it and walked off stage, and the press was just dumbfounded. They didn't know what to do. They were flabbergasted. I think I saw somebody just sort of stumbling over his words. Yeah. How many VTubers do you think I would get along with? I feel like, I mean, a lot of VTubers, I think, do enjoy trolling people. Some of my favorite moments, or at least the one particular favorite moment of Pippa I have is, let's just say, when she was trolling Lisa. You know, that famous Minecraft moment Oh boy. Yeah, she saw an opening and she took it. And just after Lisa saw what it was, she just kept going. Pippa just kept going. You know, it would be fun. I do so hope I could one day do a collab with Lisa. She seems innocent, and I would like to horrify her with my antics. There's the whole... I don't know if I think I may have briefly mentioned my meat-based horror that I have in my mother's refrigerator. She made me move my meat experiment down to the downstairs refrigerator. She actually had to change out the solution once, and she kept going on and on and about how gross it was. I, of course, found it hilarious. Let's see, there's the meat. Oh, and of course, I'll just call the banana incident. Which it's that I did that back in I don't know how my friend from high school, he only found out about it years later. My mother was not happy with me after that. She forbade me from ever doing that again. The funny thing is, I actually have done some work relatively recently, kind of repeating that experiment or using different methods. I was using highly branched cyclic dextrin, which basically that's just a molecule that can encapsulate things, and that was one option. And I recently just found out actually, I think it was yesterday, maybe it was technically today, I think it might have been past midnight, because at the time I thought cyclodextrin was pretty expensive, but I must have just been looking at the lab grade stuff, because there is food grade versions of this. So cyclodextrin, again, it basically just encapsulates certain molecules and changes solubility. So you can use it to dissolve oils in water, for example. And that was, I mean, it was about twice the price of the other stuff, but it was still only 50-ish bucks for a pound of the stuff. Excuse me. I rarely ever just sneeze twice. Excuse me, sneeze just once. I sneezed twice that time. But anyway, moving on. We're still awaiting the, Wait. Okay, no, in a late-night post to his Truth social account, Trump welcomed the possibility of facing Hillary again. Crooked Hillary Clinton would be my second favorite opponent in 2024, behind only Sleepy Joe Biden himself, Trump said. I already defeated them both, despite having my wonderful landslide re-election stolen. If Hillary wants some more, she can come and get it. Also, my pantsuits are much more flattering. Everyone says so. MAGA. Yeah, Trump... Actually, Trump, in a way, is like Tucker Carlson, and just his mannerisms being distinct. And it's easy to at least do a reasonable impression of him, just basing it off of mannerisms. When asked for comments regarding a possible Hillary Clinton candidacy, President Joe Biden expressed total confusion as to what these Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump people were before being quickly ushered away by his caretakers. At publishing time, the entire nation breathed a collective sigh of relief when it was revealed that Hillary's announcement was, in fact, just a renewal of her Apple TV series with her daughter Chelsea, in which they traveled across the country frightening ordinary citizens. Is that actually a thing? Was that I would believe that they... I wouldn't be sure. It's... What are the odds it's just some money laundering thing where she pulled some strings to get Apple TV some money, and they're using this series to basically pay her in response to that. Again, I feel like this shouldn't necessarily be a controversial statement. Politics are corrupt. Then again, maybe there's some kind of blue-haired feminist who would screech at me for saying this sort of thing. Me, girl power. Me, how can you not like patriarchy? Me. Vance was right about the cats, wasn't she? Wasn't he? If, granted, I am a big cat person myself. I like kitties. Alright, well, why don't I end this off before Hillary Clinton catches wind of this and breaks my Nico kneecaps? Alright, well...